Nothing quite sucks like being disappointed. My name is Caylyn, and today I'm going to talk about unrealistic expectations, specifically in friendships, and how to just not. If you like what you hear today, or you find this video helpful or me mildly amusing at times, please subscribe and hit the bell so that you're notified whenever I post a new video. Now, disappointment has very quickly become one of my least favorite emotions, but often we do set ourselves up for disappointment when we have unrealistic expectations. Having done quite a bit of post-traumatic growth, I've been able to really rehash my friend group, and I've done it in a way where I am friends with people where I have realistic expectations of them, and in turn, they have realistic expectations of me, and that's a really good feeling place to be. Unrealistic expectations are exactly that, unrealistic. And the biggest damage that comes out of having unrealistic expectations or setting them upon other people is that you set someone else up for failure, which sets you up to be disappointed. Specifically in friendships, it's really important to remember that they are indeed a two-way street. If there's one person that's expecting a lot but not giving a lot, that's an unrealistic expectation. And if on the other side, there's somebody who is trying to meet the expectations of that friend, but doesn't even know what they're doing or not doing, that doesn't make them feel very good. And it ends up being a very unpleasant dynamic or an awkward coffee date. I think it's also really important to keep in mind that the friend in the friendship that has unrealistic expectations might be you. It's always good to do a little self-reflection. If you feel like someone is constantly disappointing you, are you asking too much of them? Or is something going on in their life that maybe they just don't have the capacity to be where you would like them to be at? I think these are important questions to ask any of ourselves at any time in any friendship. Have you at any time experienced unrealistic expectations from a friend? Or have you been that friend? Let me know down below in the comments and let's chat about it. There are so many reasons we could place unrealistic expectations on our friends, but I think the biggest one ends up being that we have an idea of who they are in our head, of who we think they are or what we think they can accomplish, when maybe that's not necessarily accurate. You know, it takes time to get to know people, and communication is really key with something like this. This is also where self-awareness and self-reflection can be really, really good, because you can start to learn who is capable of doing what in your life. In my life, I ended up getting to a point where I realized there were some friends that were way too close and I needed to have more boundaries up with them than I had initially realized. And I kept wondering why I was so disappointed in these people. And it's because they just weren't capable of doing what I thought they could do. Their emotional healthiness just wasn't quite where mine was. And to keep myself safe and to also not be unfair to them and constantly set themselves up for failure, it was just about sharing different things with them or how much time I was spending with them. And I'll circle back to communication for a second because it's so vital in any relationship. I think a good thing to remember is that if you don't feel that you can be honest with your friends, or they're not being honest with you, or however that works out where there's a lack of honesty, there's probably unrealistic expectations at play, and it's also possible they shouldn't be as close to you as they are. Thank you so much for tuning in today and watching my video. Please like and subscribe and leave me a comment. And if you think there's someone who could benefit from watching this video or getting some of the information out of it, please share. Otherwise, I will see you next week.